Welcome to Unplugged Live with Dr. Diane Smith-Clark, PhD. Get ready to get inspired by the stories of overcoming life's challenges to bring change and transformation. Here's Dr. Diane.
Hi there, and welcome back to Unplugged. I'm so delighted that you have joined us tonight because we're going to be covering some information that is vital to your success currently and in your future. Listen, before we get started, I want to invite you to like, share, and subscribe to all of our social media channels: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, every outlet you can find this broadcast, and I believe it will bless your life. This month in April, we are highlighting money and finance. Now, I believe this is a time when we really need to be more focused than ever. The world is having a recession. The saints are being blessed, but we want everybody to be blessed. So we have put together a show that we believe is going to pour into those areas of your life where you might be financially illiterate. I know we don't like that word, but you know, when you talk about ignorance, it means you know, and you're not operating in what you know. You don't have the steps. You're not able to put into action what you know. So we want to help you today and launch you to a better financial future. Today we have with us Ms. Tanisha LaFay, and I want her to come on and introduce her company and tell you about how you can benefit from her product and her business. Good morning.
Hi, how are you doing?
I am well. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing awesome. I started out with a workout in my driveway, so I'm feeling really good. And I helped a single mother of 4 children get her financial plan together.
Oh, what a way to start your day. I brought you on the show because I want you to help a lot of people, all of my listening audience, to be aware of who you are and what you are doing, and to really realize the benefit in really knowing how money works.
Awesome. So yeah, I'm here to help. This has been a passion of mine since my mid-20s when I was a journalist, actually. And it was all over the news that the Social Security Trust Fund would be bankrupt by the year 2035.
Right.
So when I was in my mid-20s, that was in 33 years. Well, now that's 12 years from now. So a lot of people are going to be in trouble if they're depending on Social Security for their retirement. So they need to make sure that in addition to Social Security, that they have enough saved and invested to be able to last them for 3 or 4 decades of retirement.
That is so important that you are saying that on today. And I want you to really dive into giving the community information about your service, your product, how they can benefit, how they can reach you, and just flow with it.
Yeah, so basically, I've been in the financial industry for 18 years because I realized that I needed to understand financial literacy and that I needed to make more money to take care of my children. The son that I had my senior year of high school and the son that I had in my late 20s, I was tired of being check to check. And I found out that most people are going to be poor by the age of 65. 95% of us are going to be dead or dead broke. So the way that I can help is I can figure out what's your financial independence number. Everyone has a desired income when they're no longer working, but they don't know what it takes to get there. So we can actually sit down with you free of charge and find out what is that desired monthly income when you're no longer working and how to get there. Like how much you need. It's called wealth equivalency, basically. So let's say the person says, I need $5,000 a month. Well, based on wealth equivalency, they need $1.2 million. That $1.2 million in an account that's averaging 5% will give them the $5,000 a month they need. So we sit down with them so that they know their financial independence number. Also, they need to have income protection because you never know if you're going to become disabled or have a heart attack or stroke. and you're going to still need to pay your bills. So I've met with a lot of people over the last decade and a half, and many of them were not prepared for retirement. So they were forced into early Social Security disability. And they talk about how they used to have all this money when they were working, but they were not prepared to become disabled in their 50s. And then some of them got to retirement in their 60s, but then they spent all their money when they got it out of their 401k or 403b. And so now they're check to check in retirement, making less than $2,000 a month. So if you sit down with us, it doesn't cost you anything, and we can put together income protection for just in case you become disabled or have something major happen to your health. It gives you access to money. We also can figure out what your financial independence number is and help you get there so that you don't run out of money in retirement like most people. And we can also give you a copy of our best-selling book, How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker, so you can learn how to get out of the sucker cycle. Most people are trapped in the sucker cycle. They're working just to give their money away every paycheck. So they're giving their money away to the bill collectors, to the restaurants, to the clothing stores, to the shoe stores, but they're not paying themselves first. So we want to educate them so they can learn to pay themselves first and get out of the sucker cycle. Make sure they have their emergency fund. Make sure they have protection on their income. Make sure that they have a sufficient retirement. Make sure that their debt is under control. The best debt is no debt, because your debt is usually getting double-digit returns. Your loans and credit cards have double-digit returns, which means those balances can be doubling every 3 to 5 years. What you owe, you could owe double every 3 to 5 years, depending on the interest rate. So we just, want to make sure that people have debt management under control. No debt is preferable. And they have that emergency fund, they have that protection on their income, and they have their life insurance, and they have their retirement plan.
Tanisha, that is awesome what you guys are doing. And I'm amazed that you can do it at no cost to the person who's interested in becoming financially literate. How can they get a copy of that book, and how can they set up an appointment with you?
Right. So they can set an appointment with me, and by meeting with me for just a half hour, as a thank you, I will actually send them a complimentary copy of our book. Actually, they should be thanking me because I am rescuing them. They don't know what they don't know. Most people don't know how they're going to retire. They're not prepared for retirement. They're not prepared for if they become disabled, if they need long-term care, which can wipe out your assets. So to meet with me, they can just go to bit.ly/book Tanisha. So BIT is in Tom, period, LY is in yellow, /B, capital B, and then lowercase OK, capital T for Tanisha, ENESHIA. So that's basically bit.ly/book Tanisha. And they can book a 30-minute consultation with me so that I can share financial tips that they have no idea about. And then also I can mail them a copy of our book, and then I can help them through the 7 money milestones so that they can be financially secure. And all of this costs them $0. So when the lady that I met with this morning that has 4 children, when I met with her today and yesterday, she didn't pay anything. So yes, it doesn't cost anything. Yep.
That is so awesome that you can provide that. I'll give them the bit.ly address again, because they're watching from TV and they may not have anything to write it down. Would you give it to them again, please?
Yes. So it's bit.ly/book Tanisha. So that's BIT as in Tom, period, LY like yellow, / capital B as in boy, lowercase o, lowercase k, capital T for Tanisha, and then lowercase ENESHIA. So bit.ly/book Tanisha with a capital B and a capital T. And then I can meet with you on Zoom for 30 to 45 minutes, and I can share some financial information that you need. It's actually BIT period LY. So there's a period between the T and the L.
Okay, well, we have to correct that. Thank you. Because I want them to be able to contact you. Tell
Mhm.
us about some of your other financial services that you provide.
Oh, yeah. So basically, we walk them through the 7 money milestones. So, milestone number one is get that financial education. So, the way to get the financial education is by reading our book. And then also, because this month is Financial Literacy Awareness Month, I'm teaching a financial literacy class, a How Money Works class, every Thursday at 6:30. And then the last Wednesday of this month, we're teaching How Money Works for Women because we have our newest book, How Money Works for Women, coming out in a few weeks. And I'll be giving those free copies of those to all my female clients. So that's milestone number one is financial education, because when you know better, you can do better. Milestone number two is proper protection on your insurance. So we do all types of life insurance. So one person might be on a tight budget, so all they can afford is term. So we have term insurance with living benefits for a person on a tight budget. Another person might just want final expense, like 20,000 or $30,000 policy. That's like a final expense policy, a whole life policy. There might be another person's like, no, I want $500,000 permanent to leave to my family, whether I die now or when I'm 100 years old. So we have whole life, universal life, variable life, and index universal life. So we have life insurance for whatever their needs are. We also have disability insurance and long-term care. So that's milestone number two, protecting your income. Milestone number three is your cash flow. Your emergency fund. Milestone number three is your emergency fund. You should have 3 to 6 months of income or expenses that you can easily access. It's liquid. So we can help people with their savings accounts so that they can have that emergency fund in case their car breaks down or their refrigerator or their washing machine, or I don't know, bail someone out of jail, flee a hurricane or a tornado. You need an emergency fund that is equal to 3 to 6 months of living expenses or income. Milestone number, and we can help you with that. And milestone number four is debt management. Your debt is growing faster than your savings. Why? Because usually your savings is not even getting a 1% return, but your debt is getting a 10% return or 15 or 20% return. So the rule of 72 tells you that if you're getting like a 12% interest rate, 72 divided by 12 is 6. So the interest on that loan is going to double what you owe in 6 years. Or if you're getting like a 24% credit card, 72 divided by 24 is 3. That credit card balance is doubling every 3 years. So we educate people about their debt so that they can make smarter decisions. Like, I didn't always have it together. I had poor credit most of my adult life. I would say poor, so fair credit. Well, I'm glad that I now have excellent credit, and so do my 2 adult sons. So it's very important to manage your debt. And for people that just cannot manage all their credit card debt, they've gotten in trouble. They've been a little irresponsible because they didn't know any better. We have debt elimination programs that can cut their balance in half and stop that interest from compounding daily. We also have student loan forgiveness programs. So before Biden had that $10,000 or $20,000 forgiveness, we have the student loan forgiveness because, again, it only forgives 10 to 20,000. What if you're someone that owes 50,000 or 100,000 or 200 or 300,000? Biden's not really going to help you, right? So we have student loan forgiveness programs. They can get their student loans forgiven in 10, 20, or 25 years, and also can get them down in the meanwhile to a 0 monthly payment or based on their income payment versus whatever, the government's charging them. And then milestone number five is their cash flow. We can actually look at their budget and see where they're caught in the sucker cycle, see where they're spending too much money. And maybe they should be using that money to pay off debt or to save. So that's milestone number five, looking at your cash flow. And then also, they can make additional income by being a referral agent with us. Like, that changed my life, switching careers into getting my license in the financial services industry 18 years ago. Because as a journalist, I was check to check. So when I decided to get into this industry, it transformed my life. So we have several people that are doctors and nurses and teachers and accountants and lawyers and automotive technicians, pilots, and they do this in their spare time, educating people on their finances to generate additional income. And then milestone number 6 is building wealth. You can't work all your life. There's some people that can't see themselves ever retiring because they don't have a retirement plan. Well, we can help them build wealth. There's 3 different tax boxes: tax now, tax later, tax never. By the way, everything that I'm going over with you is outlined in our book, How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker. And so we can help them with their tax now accounts, which are their savings accounts. And also, tax now is like your stocks and bonds and mutual funds. We can help them with their tax later accounts, which is like their 401k, their 403b, their 457, their traditional IRA and annuities. And we can help them with tax never accounts, accounts that will never be taxed. That's college savings plans, Roth individual retirement accounts, and that permanent life insurance that builds cash value, that allows you to be your own bank, where you can give yourself loans as low as 0.25 to 1% interest and pay yourself back. And so that's milestone number 6. And then finally, milestone number 7 is to protect your wealth. You worked so hard to earn money and save money and invest money and pay as little debt as possible. Well, guess what? You also need an estate plan. So that's milestone number 7, the will or a trust, healthcare directive, and financial power of attorney. That's very important. Aretha Franklin did not have an estate plan, so her family fought over her assets for years. Prince did not have an estate plan. His family fought over his assets. The Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, yes, he left millions of dollars like Prince and Aretha, but he also didn't have an estate plan. So instead of his wife getting $4 million after attorney and court fees and the debtors, she was left with a little over $2 million. So half of the estate was gone. So so you need an estate plan. So those are the 7 money milestones that we outline in our book and that we teach in our classes. We've got a couple dozen of classes that we teach at no charge. So let me know if you would like me to teach your class. I could teach it over Zoom. And if you happen to be within the area, like I'm in Florida, so if you happen to be in Florida or South Georgia, I can actually come in person and teach. But if you're anywhere else in the country, I can teach over Zoom. And like I said, I have classes every Thursday at 6:30 over Zoom, where I'm able to teach people all over the country. And this is at no cost. The classes are no cost. The book is no cost. The consultations are no cost.
That is awesome. That's like going to a financial advisor at the bank, but not getting as much detail, an explanation of what you need to do and how to do it. I think that's just awesome. We're grateful to make your acquaintance, and I believe that a lot of people will be reaching out to you so that they can get this information, because we think we know about money based on how we grew up, but we're not living in the same era. We're not living in the same time as when we grew up, and all of these things were not explained. Of course, in many of our households, all we knew about money was pay your bills and don't get in debt. But there was no information in the community of the church. It was pay your tithe, give an offering, but no teaching on investing, no teaching on how insurance works. So we're grateful for people like you, who is a tremendous honor to have met Tanisha. And I'm hoping that the information that she gave will be a blessing to you, and that you will contact her to get your finances in order. Thank you so much for tuning in to the show today. And let me remind you, like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, social media outlets. I really appreciate it. And if you like today's show, would you stop a moment and just put a comment in so that we'll know you were here? You know, that helps the algorithms on the social media to bring more guests and more visitors into the show. And I believe that we're being a blessing to you. And I would appreciate you leaving your comments, your likes, your shares, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Diane Clark. All right. Don't forget, May 13th, celebration of women. It's going to be phenomenal. This year's focus is the fabulous senior review. We're going to be honoring 12 seniors who are working in our community, doing phenomenal work, unsung heroes. So we invite you to join us. The tickets are only $40, and you can get them at Eventbrite, or you can contact my website for a ticket. All right, and I'm looking forward to you coming to share with us. Saturday morning, we're going to be at All People Church of God in Christ for a women's brunch, and the focus is springing into my next. So I know you're excited about hearing information from that. You can look on in any Facebook channel and find the advertisement and go ahead and register. Pastor Mildred Watts is the sponsor of that. So thank you so much. We'll be back again this month with another issue dealing with finances and how you can profit and move to your next financially. God bless you. I'm Dr. Diane Clark, and I am empowering the harvest.
Thanks for joining us for Unplugged Live with Dr. Diane Smith Clark, PhD. Helping to bring change and transformation in the mental health space within the church community. Dr. Diane wants to hear from you. If you have any questions, comments, guest recommendations, or program topic ideas, visit DianeUnplugged.com and click the Contact Us link. Dr. Diane also appreciates your prayers and your financial support. You can give online at DianeUnplugged.com and select Donate. If your business or ministry organization is interested in sponsoring this program, you can go to DianeUnplugged.com and click the Contact Us link. Unplugged Live is on all the social media platforms. Just search Dr. Diane Smith Clark, follow, and subscribe. Unplugged Live with Dr. Diane Smith Clark, PhD. Healthy mind, wealthy life.